So long story short, to just kind of bring this full circle, you said, hey, how did I get into automation? So credit was my gateway drug, and I learned business through leveraging credit. So the biggest thing that actually got me into this space was my grandmother got sick throughout this process. My late grandma Ida. She eventually passed away, but the thing that ended up hurting me the most through that situation was while I was growing and having all this trial and error, I didn't have money freedom or time freedom while I was building. When I finally had enough money and enough time to go see her, I called the flight home. I got there. I see my mom walking down the driveway. She had the biggest crimson look on her face I ever saw. My grandmother passed away when I was on the plane to see.
Of course, you're big on family, but you made sure that you created the environment to be around your family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't have those second chances to be able to do that. Right? So if you were to speak to somebody, if someone was in the exact same situation that you were in with your mom's mom, your grandmother, what would you tell them?
Try your bad thing, but
I just want to let y'all know, if I could show you how to leave generational wealth, would you pay me $10,000? Like, if I could literally show you how to leave family legacy, would you pay me $10,000 for me to be able to show you that? Because this will allow your family to not be a statistic and to never have to worry about being broke ever again. Like, would you allow me to teach you that information? Well, look, you definitely don't have to pay me $10,000, and I definitely got the same information for the price of $47 a month. It's called the Fam Code Community. If you want to actually learn how to build generational wealth and not have to spend tens, thousands of dollars to get that information, you can go to the link in my description right now and click the link for $47 a month. And I'll even do better than that. You could get it for free for 14 days. I'll give you a free trial. If you aren't happy with it, you don't have to pay for 14 days. All right. And you can cancel whenever time. So what I want you to do is go ahead, click the link in the description, get your free 14-day trial to join the Fam Code community. You'll learn all the codes and strategies that the Rockefellers use, that we've actually used, that's worked. And we're going to teach you how to actually build generational wealth and leave a legacy for your family. So click the link in the description. Back to the podcast.
What's going on, family? It's your boy Markus here. Welcome to another episode of the Digital Empire Podcast, where we talk about everything digital investments and entrepreneurship. And of course, we have none other than an amazing guest, my man Nick. Appreciate you for coming on the podcast, man. Appreciate you, man. Look, I want you to go ahead and introduce yourself. Let the people know what you do, who you serve, how you help people in a nutshell.
Okay, what's going on, everybody? I am Nicholas Minter. By trade, I am a filmmaker. I'm a sound mixer in film and television, working on a lot of the big TV shows out here. But in terms of the people that I serve, I help entrepreneurs build their businesses through business automation and funding.
Nice. Now you're talking to a big automation guy. I'm actually the COO of our company, right? So I'm big in the operations, hiring, selling, culture, scaling businesses, and all that, right?
Yeah.
And so I really want to touch on this topic of automation. Like how, like you told me even off here, but like what made you shift to automation? Like what you said you were a sound engineer, you were in film. Like what made you shift to the point where you're at right now?
Oh man, credit.
Interesting.
Credit made me shift, and it was kind of an interesting process. So, when I was in film, I had to get all this equipment, right? So, my mom told me, she said, Nick, you're going to go to school. We had this big round table meeting. Like, I'm pretty sure you guys, you're fampreneurs. You have round table meetings. So in my family, they're like, hey, guess what? You're going to college. So it was my mom, my dad, my grandmother, my grandfather, and we went around this table, and they all asked me what I wanted to do. So my grandmother looked at me, and she was like, well, Nicholas, I think that you need to be a doctor or a lawyer. And I was like, what? I was like, Grandma, I don't want to do that. So my grandfather was like, oh, you should go to the military. I was like, Grandpa, I don't want to get shot. Right? My dad kind of agreed because he was in the military, like my grandfather as well. And my mom was just for whatever I wanted to do. And there's a lot of red tape when you get into certain types of industries. If you're new or if you don't have a lot of credits, people may not hire you. And then when you get in, it's like, hey, I don't want you to take the jobs.
Right.
So I had to get all the equipment and I had to network. I learned business through leveraging credit because I had to. So now I'm working on productions, and not only am I getting paid to be there, they're renting my gear. So then they said, hey, can you set up a vendor account? So in order for me to set up a vendor account, I had to have a business. So then that's when I set up my business, right? So now I've got W-2 income and I got 1099 income.
I'm sorry to interrupt you while you're watching this amazing podcast, but I just want to ask you a question. All right, let me ask you this. If I could show you how to build a trust, build life insurance policies, build a family business, all within 90 days, would you want to learn? 90 days or less. If you could learn how to protect your assets, pass it on to your children, or pass it on to whoever you want to pass it to, would you want to learn? Great, I thought so. So what I did is I actually ended up dropping a free training down below. You can actually learn absolutely free. Watch the free training. This will teach you everything about how we created a trust, a family trust, an international trust, all these types of trusts that exist. If you want to learn that information, if you want to learn how to establish family bank, if you want to learn how to properly establish an LLC, all of that is actually in the description below, and it's absolutely free, okay? So I want you to go ahead, hit that actual button below, learn that, get that, and I will see you in the free training. Peace. Back to the episode.
So the biggest thing that actually got me into this space was my grandmother got sick throughout this process. My late grandma Ida, you know, she eventually passed away, but the thing that ended up hurting me the most through that situation was while I was growing and having all this trial and error, I didn't have money freedom or time freedom while I was building. I didn't have enough time to go see her. I didn't have enough money to go home. And I had too much pride to ask for it.
Interesting.
Right? When I finally had enough money and enough time to go see her, I caught the flight home. I got there. I see my mom walking down the driveway. She had the biggest grimace look on her face I ever saw. My grandmother passed away when I was on the plane to go see her. Right? You know, I was devastated. But when I thought about it, I said, I never want to be in a position again where I don't have time freedom or money freedom to go do the things that I want to do, spend time with my family, or pursue my endeavors. So from there, that's when I really started taking business seriously. And I said, I need to figure out how to make money faster.
Because the reason why I say that is because a lot of people can't command the room, right? So when someone goes through a particular situation, what usually happens is there's no silence. Right, when you spoke about your pain, there was complete silence in the room, which means that you commanded somebody's attention, right? So I want to kind of harbor on the hurt for a minute, the pain that happened with your grandmother, because a lot of people don't revisit it. I lost my dad in 2020, so I can have these conversations. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I wanna really talk about like what particular part, because you said it was time, you didn't want to have time and. You didn't have time and money freedom at that point. Right? And I want to really focus in on when your mom walked out and you saw the grin on her face, and you, I'm guessing afterwards, went inside the house, or you kind of knew from the facial expression of what happened. Yeah. What steps did you take? What emotions did you feel to be like, you know what, like this isn't for me? Like what particular emotion? Because a lot of people aren't having those moments like that.
I was distraught. I was angry, right? A lot of sadness. I actually was angry for a long time after that. It was almost like something snapped inside of me. And I realized that I could only be mad at myself, right? But then I also learned to give myself grace. You know what I mean? But, you know, specifically in that moment, it's kind of interesting because, you know, once I walked up that driveway and went upstairs, I actually saw my grandmother laying there, and I had to watch them take her out.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't mean to stop the podcast that you're listening to right now, but I have to tell you the great news, okay? We as a family have decided to write something that will last longer than us, okay? And we wrote a book that literally teaches you step by step from how we have family bonding time, how we actually was able to grow as a family when we actually didn't really care for each other for a certain amount of time, and how we're able now to have a multi-six-figure business. And what we did, and it's not just a six-figure business, it's a multi-family six-figure business, and how we did it step by step. And it's actually very special to us because this book is going to allow us to be able to teach our children. And so what we're doing is we're not really writing it for y'all, we're writing it for our next generation and on. So they could actually have their own textbooks created by us. They could have their own books created by us. They're able to have everything they need within our actual family business and our actual family education, okay? So I want y'all to know, and we don't usually do this, but I want to give you the book, okay? I want to give you the book. If you click the link in the description, you can get the Family Business Bible today, or the Black Rockefellers book today. You can actually get this, and I'm going to give it to you, and I want you to be able to just check it out. See how we were able to do it. It is absolutely crazy how we actually have created a generational book that we like to call this generational activities. Like, you should be having generational activities every single day. And what we did as a family is we created one of that generational activities, creating this book. And we want to give it to you. See how this could actually impact your life and your family's life. So I want you to go ahead, click the link in the description and get the Family Business Bible, and we will see you next time. Actually, just watch the podcast.
Yeah, what's crazy is, we're big on family, right? And I see that you're big on family when it comes to, of course you're big on family, but you made sure that you created the environment to be around your family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't have those second chances to be able to do that, right? So if you were to speak to somebody, if someone was in the exact same situation that you were in with your mom's mom, your grandmother, right? What would you tell them?
Turn your passion into profits. That'd be the first thing I'll tell you. Turn your passion into profits. And, if you feel like it's something that could be very difficult for you to do, either, you can't create an idea, you don't know how to execute the idea, or financially, it may be an idea that may cost you too much. You can do affiliate marketing and sell somebody else's product that's already packaged, and it won't cost you a thing to do it. Right? So it will cost you something. It's going to cost you time.
Right.
But literally, that's how I started. I was selling other people's products. I was a part of other people's businesses. I launched businesses with other people. From there, I got enough experience, I got enough knowledge, and I did a lot of learning on my own where I was able to launch my own. Now, mind you, filmmaking is an amazing business. I love everything about filmmaking, but the timing of it is very demanding.
Yeah.
Right? When they need you, they need you, right? So, if you have a skill set, or if you already have a job, to those people, I would say that your job is actually your first business partner.